Hi, and welcome to this exciting session in which I have the great pleasure, Jackie Bradham and I have the pleasure of talking about 2019 Riverfest, which will be occurring the week of July 16th. My name is Judy Freund, and
I'm Jackie Bradham.
And Jackie and I, along with really a lot of other folks, but we really have to give a shout out to Buck Malik and to Evina Byrne, have really been coordinating and involved in coordinating Riverfest for the last number of years, actually since its inception.
Yeah, this is the seventh year for the Riverfest celebration.
And indeed, it is just really exciting to talk about some of the upcoming events. Jackie, I'm wondering if you can just give us a really quick introduction and background to the idea of Riverfest. Where did it come from? How did it evolve to where it is today?
Well, Riverfest, there's been an annual river cleanup for many years, and the St. Croix River Association was kind of instrumental in getting that up and going. But since then, I think it was, 7 years ago, I think Buck Malik was pretty instrumental in saying, we want to, and Paul Bourget, who also, we want to have an actual citywide celebration to help celebrate the St. Croix River with the concept that, if you get out there on the river and you can enjoy activities on the river, you're going to be much more in tune with helping to keep it more clean and to clean up after yourself, and part of the event was to have it's Riverfest is Party with a Purpose, and the purpose is to have an annual river cleanup.
Nice.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
So that's how it got started.
So it's really an invitation for members of the community, and the community being individuals that not only live here but use the river. It's really an invitation for them to kind of settle into this appreciation of what an amazing resource it is.
It's beautiful. Not only is it beautiful, back in history, it was an important part of commerce. Well, now it's used more for recreation, but
sure.
It's beautiful, and we want to help keep it beautiful. Sure.
So Party with a Purpose.
Yes.
So I'm going to guess that there are some stables. Well, I know there are some really stable events that recur year after year, but does anything come to mind that's going to be new this year?
Well, we have some new events, and one of those new events that we're going to start off with is a pre-event, is the State of the River Community Forum, I guess is the correct term for that. And maybe you could talk a little bit about our speakers.
So actually, this is the first time that Riverfest has kind of grasped the idea of, so what is the health of the river? How is the St. Croix doing in terms of the impact of, as you alluded to, a lot of recreation, of development, things that are happening to the north of us? So how is that impacting the river? And so we do invite everyone to come to the FIPS. That's going to be Thursday, July 11th from 6:30 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, that one's at the library, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not at the FIPS, it's the library. And so Mark Morose will present stormwater management in the city of Hudson. So he's obviously an employee of our city. And then Jim Almenninger will present how clean is our St. Croix River today. And so that, for me, that's a really interesting piece, because after 6 years of this Party with a Purpose, it kind of invites us to get a little bit more mindful about the health of our river.
Yes, yes.
And that, again, is a pre-event. It's actually the week before, the Thursday, July 11th. Anything else?
Well, another pre-event that we're having, is the Native American Day and we're partnering with Family Fresh Market, and Royal Credit Union is the other sponsor for that. But we're going to have a pre-event that kind of feeds into an event on Saturday. On Saturday, we're having a program that is, we're calling it Woodland Echoes, and it's the taste, sights, and sounds. So we have the great performing group of Woodland Sky coming in, and they will be doing an evening performance. And with a light show, and it's very spectacular, amazing to see they just do such an excellent job, their performance. And with that, we wanted to make it more inviting, so we settled in on the idea of doing native tastings of indigenous foods. So we've been working with Family Fresh and guidance from some of the Native American, Lisa Mose, helping us with coming up with a menu, and so I'm excited about that new event. And it's going to be an evening show on Saturday the 20th, and we start out the evening at 6:30 with flavors of the Woodlands tastings, and then that is followed by the program by Woodland Sky, Native American Dance Company. So that one will be fun. That one is awesome. One of the few ticketed events. Most of the events are free and open to the public. There are only a couple of them, the boat cruise, obviously, and this event. And it's a fundraiser for the the Riverfest to help us
defer some of the
costs for putting on this event. But it was a way to be able to present this kind of performance.
And to be clear, and we're going to talk a lot more about the events on Saturday as we walk through the itinerary for the week.
This is a new one.
This is a new one, and the other part of all of that is we found that the community has really responded positively to the introduction of events that are focused on the Native American culture, tradition, and history that they have on the river. So I think that really this is responding to the community in terms of what their interest is, and that's pretty cool. So I said that we were going to kind of walk through the itinerary for the Riverfest week. And so we're going to start off with, of course, there's classes that are offered through the FIPS that are geared toward young people. It's called Just Add Water, and it gives young people an opportunity to explore the river, explore what's on the river as well as what's under the river, really get their kind of hands into the concept of just what is it that's out there. Also, that Just Add Water class has a responsibility this year, and actually the last couple of years, of dressing Scrappy. Scrappy is the mascot. Scrappy was created the first year of Riverfest and really exists as a metal armature, and now is undressed and then dressed and undressed and dressed during the course of the year. But of course, from Riverfest, the material that's collected during the cleanup will be attached to Scrappy. So you'll see new junk. Is that a fair assessment?
He gets a trashy new outfit every year. And the Just Add Water class is responsible to work with local artist Liz Melaniphy. And she helps them design the outfit made of trash for Scrappy each year. It's always fun because we also do kind of like a hide and seek as to what some of the things are that we find that gets incorporated into Scrappy's new outfit each year. And it's amazing, some of the stuff that you'll see. Some of the things that, how in the world did that ever get in the river?
And Scrappy will be, after he's fully dressed, later on in the week, but he'll be at the events. He'll be at the Thursday night concert event.
The Tuesday, he appears at the Tuesday without clothing on.
Oh no, he's naked. Is that right? Okay.
He's just his metal armature.
So this is that class, Just Add Water, is just a really important piece. And again, that runs from the 15th to the 18th, the week of Riverfest.
Through FIP Centers for the Arts. So you can go on their website and you can, I don't know if they're still taking registration. They probably are.
That's where you find it.
So you can find out there.
So that brings us to Tuesday. Tuesday is kind of, in many ways, the kickoff. So you want to kind of walk us through that itinerary?
Well, Tuesday is a big day for Riverfest. We have lots of activities going on, and we start out early in the morning, or not early, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's not that early. That's our annual river cleanup. So that's where we go out on the riverbanks, and if we have teams that want to participate, we might send you to other locations like North Hudson Riverbanks and some of the different river parks and areas along the river, out on the Dike Road, out on where they do the fishing contest out by, I can't remember what that area is called, the bay there, and just do river cleanup. So anybody that's interested and wants to participate, we encourage you to come out Saturday morning or Tuesday morning and help us clean up that river so we can find lots of nice trash for Scrappy. And then the next, after the cleanup for all the people that were out there cleaning up for us, we provide a lunch, and we have a lot of local partners that help us put together that lunch for our cleanup crews. And that is also, the library has a toddler story time at that time. So they're going to have river-themed stories and crafts and activities, and that's at 10:15 at the library. Another event that day is going to be after the cleanup and the lunch. We have pop-up art activities at the art bench starting from 11 to 2 down at Lakefront Point. And this is going to be done at Picnic Point, which is on the south end of the park. For those who don't know where it is, it's hard to find if you don't know where Picnic Point is. But it's just down by Buckeye Street on the park. And the pop-up art and nature activity at the art bench trail, and we have an art bench down there in the Picnic Point area. So the Phipps Center for the Arts is helping us with that event. And then we also have Carpenter Nature Center coming in with wildlife of the St. Croix Valley. So I suspect there'll be some turtles,
and stuff going on.
It's always entertaining to see which animals they're bringing in, but the naturalists will introduce some live animal ambassadors, and those animals are ones that you'd find in this area. In our ecosystem. So, and that evening we wrap up with the Toonies Environmental Fun Puppet Show. That's always a fun one. She does such a wonderful, or they do such a wonderful job. Elfish is my favorite. So if you haven't seen that, it's a great puppet show to kind of talk about the environmental awareness and teamwork and having fun and learning about ways to keep the river clean and how to recycle and reuse things. So the Tricia and the Toonies, they do a wonderful job at that. So that's that one is at the bandshell.
And you know, it's my, actually, I've looked at this event over the last number of years. It appears as though participation in the cleanup has really grown. Is that true?
I think so. I think that more people are aware of it and they're getting out. And surprisingly, there are companies that will have teams, but there's also families that will show up. So a mom and her kids, a mom, dad and kids, and they'll show up and
nice.
You know, put on their gloves, give them a bag, and they're out there picking up trash. So.
And all those activities that are planned in conjunction with that, the lunch, the presentation by the naturalists from Carpenter Nature Center, the pop-up art at the art bench. In a way, I mean, your real reward is the fact that you're doing the spirit of river, which is to keep it clean. But those are kind of small thank yous, I guess.
Yeah, and that day is like a great family day. I mean, it's Tricia and the Toonies. That's geared towards a family, very family friendly show. So, and
all of those activities again are completely outlined on the Riverfest website.
Yes.
So everything that we're
more
sort of
details
going to
and
be talking
information.
about.
Yep. and family friendly, and those are all free activities. So come out, and if you want more details, visit the website
Great.
and the website is stcroixriverfest.org.
Great.
So,
Thank you.
so mentioning the website, we should actually tell people what it is.
Or just Google St. Croix Riverfest, Hudson, Wisconsin.
There are
and it'll
other
come
Riverfests out there, so
Sure.
yeah.
But make sure you put in Hudson.
Yep.
And things don't stop on Wednesday, even though that's the day when those Just Add Water kids, along with Liz Melanophy, really get busy dressing Scrappy. But there's activities planned that day as well. Mm-hmm. So we start, I see there is a naturalist at the library.
Yes, that one is from the Friends of the Willow River and Kinney State Parks, and that naturalist will be coming in, and I suspect there will be a turtle in there.
And
maybe not.
And if after all that activity involved on Tuesday, helping to clean up the river and bending and lifting and picking, if you need to kind of regroup and center yourself, I see you have yoga in the park.
Yes.
That's noon at the Bandshell. And in the evening, Carpenter Nature Center, who's an important partner in activities throughout the week at Riverfest, including the naturalist, will be doing a prairie hike on their Wisconsin campus. And that is from 7 to 8 o'clock. It's a beautiful space.
Yeah, why don't you talk a little about the Wisconsin campus? I don't know that people are aware of where it is. And
yeah, thank you for sort of suggesting that. So it's just a couple miles south of town. It's about, if you go down Highway F a mile past the Y Camp St. Croix, you'll see signs directing you to this really amazing space. Most people are quite familiar with Carpenter Nature Center that is just north of Hastings on the Minnesota side of the river. But a number of years ago, they opened up the Wisconsin campus. It's just a wonderful place if you like bird watching early in the morning. Beautiful prairies, lots of walking paths and hiking paths that go through the prairies. They have an art festival coming up later in the fall, in August actually. They have a bio blitz in a couple years, in a couple weeks. It's just a wonderful nature environmental resource that's just south of town. So that Wednesday night or Wednesday evening, 7 to 8 o'clock nature hike will be a wonderful opportunity if in fact you're not familiar with that resource to drive out there and participate. Come to learn exactly what is in the prairies that are just south of town here. So.
Yep. And that's another free event, and but they do request that you make reservations for it, so they know how many people to plan for. So again, information on registrations on our website.
On your website.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Thursday. And Thursday evening, we, of course, are presenting the community with the Thursday evening band concert. The City of Hudson each Thursday generously invites the community to come down to the Lakefront Park, that beautiful site by the Bandshell, and we kind of host that Thursday evening get-together. It's preceded by what we call a nonprofit fair. That's an opportunity for people to come a bit early, come at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
There are lots of nonprofits that will have set up exhibits, informational booths, and they'll be able to tell you about the work that they're doing. Most of them connect directly with or indirectly with the health and appreciation of the environment and the St. Croix River. The concert starts at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 8:15, and it's the last number of years, it's been the St. Croix Community Orchestra Band that has done the concert under the directorship of Chris Chernohoy. One of the things that we're going to be doing again this year, which was first time it was done.
I think it was a few years back.
Yeah, it was a few years back, probably the first year that the St. Croix Community Orchestra Band performed for us. They had invited children to come up and they did some drumming on overturned kayaks. So we're gonna see if we can bring that back again this year. It's really a fun evening. A lot of the nonprofit booths will have activities that kids can do. They can be making kind of noise-making instruments, rhythm instruments. One of our major funders for Riverfest, Norlake, will have a booth, and they'll be offering root beer to participants. There'll be a booth in which you'll be invited to help create I guess I'm going to call it a collage, a painting collage that sort of honors the river and respect for the river. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Have I missed anything?
I think that we might have our teepee coming this year.
Great.
Yeah,
Great. So
that will be interesting. So we have the community organizations, and it's a good opportunity to see, all the different organizations that are in our community. By all means, is this all of them? But it's a sneak peek at the many that contribute to, making Hudson a great place to live and play, because of these organizations. They do a lot for our communities. They enrich it greatly.
They do.
Another thing that happens on Thursday is the sailing school open house. So from 2 to 4, the St. Croix Sailing School will have an open house, and that's, if you've never seen those, when they take the sailing ships, I guess they're not boats or ships or whatever, but they take those sailing boats out there. It's very pretty on the lake. Bring your camera. I mean, it's very pretty.
That's what this is all about. Yeah. It's all about
it's all about the beauty of the river.
Aesthetics of that beautiful river. So we really hope that the community will be able to find some time to come out that evening to, like you said, photograph the river, to interact with folks who are representing nonprofits, and then to enjoy a very fun family event for the concert on Thursday evening.
I think the concert is one of our highlight events. It is. It's lovely. It's just a lovely evening in the park usually.
So if after all of that on Thursday you need some time to kind of settle in and appreciate the aesthetics of the river and quiet time, we have Tai Chi.
Okay, that's new for
that
new
is
for
new
us.
Again.
Yes.
So yoga on Wednesday, Tai Chi in the park noon, lakefront bandshell on Friday. Anything else happening Friday?
Well, Friday we've got the Carpenter Nature Center is going to be at the library, and they will be doing their Birds of Prey Raptor program. I believe that's in the lobby of the library, it's a very popular show, so it's amazing to see those birds. Yeah, that's another fun one to come and see and enjoy. Again, another free activity. And then that evening we have the Riverfest boat cruise. So that's become an annual event for us. So we go out on the Grand Duchess, and we have a naturalist from the Carpenter Nature Center with live animal ambassadors again. So those we might see another one of those birds of prey.
I love what you just said. We go out on the river. So that is the opportunity to really invite folks to get on a boat and then to have that experience. I mean, in reality, many of us do that anyway. But this is during Riverfest. This is the opportunity to get on a boat and have that experience on the water, and to learn a little bit about the nature and the environment, animals, etc., that we might see.
And I think sometimes they bring binoculars and do some bird watching on that one.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the events that's a ticketed event, so the cost for the boat cruise alone is $18 with the naturalist. You may also get dinner with that if you prefer, but all of that would be booked through the St. Croix Rivercruise.com. So that's
again. All this information is
on the website.
On the website, stcroixriverfest.org. Got that right? So while we're moving along, this is going to bring us to Saturday, and I'm going to highlight a couple events Saturday morning, and then I'm going to ask you to really walk us through what is proving to be a really popular event, and that's the Native American celebration. But early in the morning, we have the fishing derby, and that is on the southwest bay of Lake Malinu, kids 6 to 12. During the course of our conversation here, we've highlighted a number of times that we really want Riverfest to be family friendly. We want to reach out to young people. We know that if you can really instill in young people the love of the river, as they grow older, they'll become advocates, like certainly Jackie, you are, and many, many people in our community. So the Kids Fishing Derby is a way to really invite young people to participate, and of course it's one of the recreational activities that's so important on the St. Croix River. And then again at the Hudson Library, we really have to commend the library for putting together a number of programs during the week of Riverfest. At 10:30 will be Echo the Mermaid, who will be at the library, and it's appropriate for all ages. It's really kind of a fun activity. So that Saturday morning, get the kids out of bed and participate in some of those kid-friendly Riverfest activities.
And that one usually there's a big line for a photo op with the mermaid, especially the little girls.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for that. So tell us now about the Native American celebration.
Well, the Native American celebration on Saturday, on July 20th, starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we go through 4 in the afternoon for activities in the bandshell area down at Lakefront Park. We start from 10 to noon. We've got a lacrosse and long ball presentation by Paul Needham. And this is a look at authentic lacrosse. So we're trying to coordinate with the lacrosse associations here in Hudson to get the sports teams to participate, and I believe that they will have a presence at that event. And it's kind of nice to have them get a taste of where that game came from. You know, what's the thoughts and the meanings behind and the reasons why they played some of these games. And Paul also specializes in long ball, which I've read a description of the game, and it sounds like it could be fun to play somewhere between baseball and dodgeball. So I don't know. So if you're interested about what Iroquois long ball is about, you need to come down, and Paul can teach you about that. And you know, the intent of this event is to share culture, to give a glimpse at some of these historic games. Will be lots of fun. I mean, last year, we had Dan and Susan Needham here, and Paul is Dan's brother, and they did a lacrosse demonstration that was just amazing. And those, I mean, you have this field with little toddlers up to seniors out there playing lacrosse. It was fun. It was neat.
You know, that really is keeping in the spirit of education, because we call it Party with a Purpose, but education is an important component of that, starting, of course, as we mentioned earlier, the July 11th event, the Community Forum, What's the Health of the River? And so here's an opportunity to learn the history, tradition behind a game that's becoming so popular.
Oh, yes, it is very popular game. I think it's one of the fastest growing sports in the U.S. So then in the afternoon, starting at noon, we have a performance of the Woodland Sky Native American Dance Company. And if you haven't seen them, I would strongly encourage you to come out and see. They just do such an excellent performance, and it's sounds, music, sights, and
dancing,
beautiful dancing and storytelling, and again, a little bit of what's a jingle dress and how did it come to be and what is the significance of it. So Woodland Sky, it does an excellent performance. And They will be performing later on in the evening at our Woodland Echo program, but you can also see them in the daytime if you can't make the evening performance.
And again, what is just so amazing about that is educational, also connecting very strongly with history, with the history of the river, providing this amazing sort of cultural opportunity right in our community. I think that's just awesome.
We have a new group coming in for some music. They are considered Indian fusion music and poetry in there. I'm going to murder their name, Tawankan.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that properly, but they're coming in for music and poetry. So it'll be interesting to see. This is a new group for us, so we'll see.
Nice.
Will be exciting to see that new performance. And at 2:30. We have the St. Croix Chippewa Indians of Wisconsin coming, and they have been with Riverfest for several years now. They bring their youth dance troupe a lot of times that's native dancing, singing, drums, and they do a lot of, I can't remember the name of the dance, where they invite the audience to participate. And that, to me, is a favorite part of this group. They interact with the audience, and you can be involved and experience some of this for themselves. And it's a very friendly, welcoming group. So that's my favorite part of them. And along with this, from 10 to 4, we have cultural informational booths. We have Native American crafts, kind of have a little craft village. They like the area that's over in the shade and underneath the trees, and so we'll have different vendors coming in that are selling native-made, handmade crafts. So it's
really
got my earrings last year. So.
Really culturally rich afternoon.
Yes,
and
it is.
Maybe we don't have to say bring your dancing shoes,
No.
but certainly be ready to get up and participate.
And enjoying it. And we also, last year we had Native American food. Lisa Mose was our cook for us, and she will be returning this year. And we're talking fry bread, folks.
Okay. I like it.
Yes.
I'm going to bring my coins and be able to purchase some.
So that evening, if you want to get into some more authentic native food, then fry bread, though it's very popular at powwows, I don't know how traditional or how far back that goes. It's tasty, but we are going to be doing Woodlands Echoes program, and this is a Native American taste, sights, and sounds, and that's at Willow River Elementary School. And the Lee Auditorium will be the program, and then down in the atrium area is where we will have our tastings. So we're really trying to get some more authentic, locally sourced. From native suppliers, so we have a whole menu of of tastings. Some fiddlehead stew with bison stew and soup, I guess, and some wild rice and some Three Sisters. So really trying to look at some of those authentic foods.
When does that start, Jackie?
So that starts at 6:30 is the tastings, and then we have the program by Woodland Sky will be at 7:45. So we encourage people to come at 6:30, try all those different little samples of foods, and we will have speakers there that talk about the foods and some of the traditions behind what the foods are and the stories that go with it. Can you
purchase tickets that evening, or do you prefer that?
We prefer that people purchase tickets ahead of time, just so we can plan on the appropriately for the guests. And tickets are available for $15 per person or $25 per couple. And the tickets are available at Family Fresh, who is a friend of Family Fresh Markets, who is a major partner with this, making this event happen with the food tastings. And it's been a pleasure to work with them. The tickets are also available at Hudson House Hotel here in Hudson and downtown at the Purple Tree. So we have 3 locations in town that you can purchase it. And there's also, if you go to our website, again, there's also an email contact for purchasing too. So yeah, this is a new event for us, and I'm really excited about it. We're hoping we can get a big crowd out there and get those tickets sold.
Nice.
So, yeah, we are limiting the
excellent.
number of tickets we're selling. So,
Great. That was going to be my next question. And so if folks
put a
are
cap at 200. So,
okay, if folks are at all interested, it might behoove you to get your tickets early.
Yes.
And bring family friendly.
I think it's family friendly, but I think it's more geared towards adults. I mean, there's no reason a child couldn't come, but we don't have special pricing for children.
Good.
So,
and again, this is really, it's where this Native American events have grown based on the interest that we've seen in the past from the community. So that's I think that sounds like a really exciting addition, actually.
I think it's about sharing the heritage, sharing to the cultures, and just being culturally aware. And that's part of the intent. And
so that takes us to Sunday, and just sort of picking up on what you just said a minute ago, sort of embracing the cultural diversity of the river that's historical as well as current. The Longer Table event is going to be on sort of the backside of Riverfest this year, completely keeping in that, again, that spirit of diversity is great, and we're just going to embrace it. The Longer Table is at the Lakefront Park, and 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I think they have a website. Probably the link is on riverfest.org.
Yeah, Hudson Inclusion Alliance is where you would go to look for them online. And this is a community-wide potluck. So I was attended last year. Was your first year, wasn't it?
It was.
And it's amazing, the diversity of food. Everything from pizza, to just, I think, I'm trying to think of some of the different nationalities.
Yeah, whatever.
We had some Norwegians being
there
represented.
You go. So
there,
they're going to bring theirs, and
a lot of different cultures represented there, and a lot of variety of food. It was, and some good cooks.
Yeah, it's it really is a very, very rich activity. So if you're not completely filled up from that evening event on Saturday, please join us on Sunday afternoon. But there also is happening concurrently, I think, with that is at the Octagon House.
Yep,
is there Civil War encampment? Can you tell us? Do you know anything about that, Jackie?
Yes, I do. That's our annual event at the Octagon House Museum on 3rd Street. So we have Doug Harmon and his crew from the Prescott Guard, I think is their reenactors group, and they come in and set up an encampment, tents and equipment, and it's really a fun event because you can get, I mean, Doug and his crew, they just can answer all your questions, can tell you more than you ever wanted to know about the Civil War. It's just, they do such an excellent job of interacting with people, and this is an event for children, adults, anyone who's interested. And even if you're not interested in the Civil War, it's a great opportunity to see them. And we also, in conjunction with that, do ice cream, an old-fashioned ice cream social, so people can, it's a fundraiser for the museum, so that we can do that kind of programming.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And that, what I'm hearing, again, is that's a look back to the important history of our community. We're a riverside community, and it's important to sort of understand our past so that we know how we got to be who we are today.
Yes.
And so that's a wonderful addition, or a piece that helps provide that historical perspective. So that takes us through Riverfest. Any kind of closing comments or thoughts or encouragements you'd like to put out there, Jackie?
Well, I'd like to encourage everybody to come out and enjoy the river and party, and we have a purpose behind that party, and that's keeping the river clean. But I'd also like to mention that we have a lot of partner organizations that help make this possible, which they are listed on our website also. But this event is a community event, but there are a lot of partners that make this community so rich, from the library to the Phipps Center for the Arts, Carpenter Nature Center. There's just a lot of people that make this event happen. And we also need to give a shout out to all those sponsors that make this happen. Our event sponsor is Norlake, so they have, it's been a few years that they've been our major sponsor.
Yeah.
And then the Native American programs, we've got NATOW and the St. Croix Chippewa Indians of Wisconsin and St. Croix Casinos. They help with the Native American programs. And then again this year for that the Echoes, Woodland Echoes programs, we have sponsors of Family Fresh and Royal Credit Union. But we also have Saranda involved this year. They're one of our premier sponsors, along with Hudson House and Sustain Hudson. And we have the Rotary coming in as a sponsor also. And I'm going to just go, while I'm at it, get through the rest of the list here. We have supporting sponsors. We have Citizen State Bank, First American Bank, Hudson Physicians, First National Community Bank, Wendy Peterson's Insurance Agency, Wise Way Transportation Service, Xcel Energy, and you want to do the investors.
Okay, and our investor sponsors, and by the way, as you were speaking, I was looking at this list of folks that support Riverfest. It truly, number one, is becoming in every way a community-supported event, but it also, as you said, highlights how organizations and businesses are really invested in the idea that this is truly a community resource. So investor sponsors: Bayport Marina, Catalyst Sports Medicine, Fresh and Natural Foods, Gavick Construction, Hudson Hot Air Affair, Seasons on St. Croix Gallery, The Purple Tree, Uline, Valley Orthodontics. That's an awesome list.
Yeah.
And then you have media sponsors.
Yes, we have media sponsors, and they help us promote this event so that we get, people are aware of it. It does no good to have an event if you don't know it.
Exactly.
No one knows it's happening. So
you have the Star Observer, the Twin Cities Pioneer Press, Hudson Neighbors, and Valpak.
Yep.
What a just impressive list of organizations and businesses that are stepping forward and say, yes, we do care about what I believe is sort of the most important resource in our community after people.
So, I mean, we have a complete list of events, activities, times, dates, places, ticket information for those few activities. Really, the majority of the activities are family-friendly, free, come out and enjoy, and also take a peek at who those sponsors are and who those partner organizations. I mean, we have 30 different partner organizations that help make this happen, and those partner organizations are in some way or form either providing
activities and events. We've mentioned a lot of them, actually.
Or they're providing some sort of products that we're using for the event.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Now, this is really an impressive little flyer.
This should be coming out in the newspaper the week after 4th of July. So
and will there be some of these around town? People might see them at the Phipps.
Ordered an extra 1,000 of them to get out and about. So our partner organizations hopefully will have these out and about for you. The library, the Phipps, different places around town. And like I said, those kickoff events starting out on the 11th, and then on the 13th is the Native American Day at Family Fresh. So it should be a really fun year this year.
I'm excited about it. Jackie, thanks for taking some time to come in and have this conversation with me. And again, all the information is on stcroixriverfest.org. And I really hope that we're going to see a good representation from our community at all the events every day.
Yes.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Hope to see you.